Hello and welcome to the set of videos in which Struck Guitars will be building a Dinosaur themed guitar. This is for the Great Guitar Build-Off 2021, a charitable guitar building competition. And when the build's finished, we will be selling the guitar to raise money for Macmillan Cancer Support. So rather than building a cartoonish looking pterodactyl guitar, we thought it'd be a bit more sophisticated if the shape was a bit more graphic, simplified version of that. And we thought the Teledactyl would be a fitting name for such a guitar. This is technically a kit build guitar, as I've decided to use a partially pre-built neck in order to save time and to do the body justice, as there's going to be lots of time required for the body carve and the etched dinosaur scales. That's not to say there's not going to be plenty of customization going on the neck. I like to get a sense of visualizing as a final product by building a fairly basic visual in Photoshop. This helps me inform details like the scales that are carved in and the stains or finishes. It might not end up being exactly this, and things usually do change along the way. So with the walkthrough of the design finished, let's get on with the build. Having a nice sharp plane blade is obviously very important. You want to make sure that's good to go before getting started. I'll be working with 2 tulip wood blanks, as I need the wood to be relatively soft for the carving and etching processes. If you're working with multiple body blanks, you need to make sure all of the sides are true and square, so that you have a good join when you glue them together. I've got a very limited set of tools, and at this bench, a few other tools are essentially my workshop. Obviously, you can kind of see this bench is pretty far from ideal, especially for planing. There's a lot of rocking back and forth. It's not a very heavy bench. Ideally, you should have one that's fixed to the floor or wall, but I don't have any such thing. So you can kind of see at the bottom I've attached some very heavy kettlebells to try and counter any movement out of that, which actually does help quite a bit. So once I'm happy that all my sides are flat and the edges are square, I move on to gluing the joint. So I'm just using this scraper / finishing tool. I thought, give it a go. I think probably a piece of card or a credit card or something like that is actually better, but I thought I'd give this a go anyway. For some reason, I forgot to apply the clamps on the side that prevent vertical slipping. So it was a bit fiddlier than I would have liked it to have been. But other than that, it joined very nicely indeed. See there's a bit of vertical slipping that applying these clamps first would have been better. Just scraping away any excess. So once that's all done, I noticed that when joined, it wasn't actually a completely flat surface, so get the jointing planer back out. So I just used my notch straight edge there just to make sure all the sides are flat. So with that done, I'm happy to move on to shaping the body. First step is for me to print out a 1-to-1 copy of the guitar for me to trace. I'll draw this onto MDF and jigsaw it out. So templates are usually used in making consistently shaped guitars repeatedly. So if you're doing multiple guitars, which isn't something I intend to do for this guitar, but because it's very symmetrical, it would just help a lot. I found with the guitars that are much more asymmetric that it's quite forgiving aesthetically if anything's ever so slightly out. But of course with this everything has to be spot on. Once the MDF template has been cut out, the shape will need to be refined as much as possible, so that when your router follows this shape, you get nice smooth curves and transitions. Once that's been sanded, then I transfer the outline onto my body blank. There's an additional offset line, which I add just for my jigsaw to follow, just a kind of safety line. A bandsaw would obviously be a lot better, but a jigsaw is all I've got, and I make do of it just fine. The inner line on the template is reached by the router. The wing shape at the base of this guitar did pose stability problems. See here. These things happen, and there usually are ways to sort of remedy these errors. unless like you drill through your body or something. So by now, after this, we have our body template. The wood is jointed and joined. It's planed nice and flat. The body has been cut out, and now it's been refined with the router. As you can see, that's probably enough sawdust for the day. Thank you for watching. Please watch the next episode where we'll be looking at the body carve, among other things. See you next time.